Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, it's Mr. FSP. And what I'm doing today is providing you some information. That information happens to be about the AFC South. Put some dirty South, and it is really dirty, in your mouth. Look, all I can say in regards to what's going on and what's happening, the South is in trouble yet again. They're not going to rise. I don't care who's in office. Okay. All right. No political, but I can't help that. Anyway, let me take this banner off real quick and do this. There's a lot that we need to discuss today. A lot of it has to do with, I don't want to say it like this, but it's going to come off as this way, so I might as well let it out. The disappointment I think Cam Ward's going to be. That's just the way I feel. I feel as though Cam Ward is going to be a disappointment. I believe that Richardson has already proven that he's going to be a disappointment, and Daniel Jones is going to take that job in Indianapolis. I don't care what sunshine Trevor Lawrence has to say. He's going to have to prove it to me. Trevor Lawrence is going to have to prove to me that he's that guy. His contract, very good contract, right? It's commensurate with the amount of pay at that position, not his talent. Not his talent. Now, Jacksonville traded up to the number 2 pick to get Travis Hunter. They're going to use him on offense. They're going to use him on defense. How much, I don't know. But Brian Thomas Jr. is a monster. You add Travis Hunter, who works on his craft as a receiver, and you have a very strong dynamic duo. In the backfield, do not get it twisted. Travis Etienne is no joke. He's gonna look, man. Etienne is going to do what needs to be done. But Tank is saying, hold my beer. That's a double trouble impact at running back. The question is, can that defense stand up? We'll talk about it. Then the reigning AFC South champion, Houston Texans. Look, CJ Stroud came on strong year 1, somehow regressed in year 2. They still won a division. They still went to the playoffs. Just didn't look as good. They lost key components during their playoff run, and they lost key components in the offseason. Can Houston rebound? Can they make the comeback? I think they can. Jerry Taylor isn't supporting them anymore, so they should do well. I feel bad for Cleveland, though. I really do. I really do. But I guess Houston, do we have a problem? I don't know. Then we're down. I said Tennessee, Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville. We're down to who can come out of there. It's only going to be one team from the South winning that division and going to the playoffs. I don't foresee, unless by some miracle, a team has a really good record. We're going to go over those records real soon. We are. What's going to happen? I'm talking about that. But today's show, I'm also going to talk about the NFLPA head. This guy. He's not the head. He's an ass. And if I'm not mistaken, I got to double check. I think he resigned. I think I got to check. But, dude, seriously? Are you nuts? Okay. After we go over that, we're going to discuss, or I'm going to share with you all, for my fantasy league, our draft picks. Now, I don't want to, sound like I'm a hater, because I'm not. There's like one or two teams I do not want to have the first pick. But then again, I want them to have the first pick, because it's going to take forever for them to get their second pick. And they're okay at drafting, but they're better at trading, because people are so with trading with this guy. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Just because you want this one player, you willing to give him that? No. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to do our live draft pick selection at the end of the show. And we're going to enjoy it. We'll have some fun, all right? But with that being the case, I got to play some music, right? I got to play some music. AFC South, it's like driving at night. So let's see what night driving sounds like. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah. They want to be cool. The AFC South. They want you to put some AFC South in your mouth. Don't do it. Disgusting. All right, check this out, guys. We're going to start with the Houston Texans. Okay? Houston, I asked before, will we have a problem? Offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick, gone. He was the one that was to blame for CJ Stroud's regression. I don't think it was a regression. I think there were a lot of factors that came into play that caused CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans to not perform as expected. But hear me out. The roster changes, maybe with a doctor order. CJ Stroud returns with improved protection. Yes, Washington went out and got Laramie Tunsil. Laramie Tunsil is a very good left tackle, but Laramie Tunsil gets a lot of penalties. A lot. Right? So now got veteran Titus Howard to anchor or revamp offensive line. Key departures include Green, Mason, and Tunsil. It's kind of big. 3 members of your offensive line gone. Tough. Coach Popovich brings a new blocking strategy. So you have a new offensive coordinator, a new system, a new offensive line. 3 out of the 5 positions. It's going to be tough, Houston, to protect CJ Stroud. And we have no idea how he's going to operate in this offense, who will not have the big play receiver for, I think, another 5 to 6 weeks after the season starts. So he's missing all of minicamp, all of training camp because of the injury that he sustained at the end of the season. I don't know. Joe Mixon, coupled with that banger of a running back that they added, oh my God. Tennessee might become a run-first team. Not Tennessee, I'm sorry. Houston might become a run-first team. It's going to be wild. Let's talk about concerns going into minicamp. The O-line chemistry and protection of Stroud remain a concern. Potential sophomore slumps with Petrie and Pierce. Special teams may also present a risk. You don't have a lot of vets on this team that are going to make noise. Defensive side, I believe Greenlaw is there, which is a big anchor for that defense now, right? How do you change something that isn't really broken, but you know it needs a little fixing, a little fine tuning? If you tweak it this way, it's good. If you tweak it a little bit too much, you mess it up. That's where Houston is. You know, potential battles in minicamp, offensive line. As I said, 3 of the 5 gone. New system. It's going to be tough, Houston. It's going to be tough. But a focus on offensive line physicality under Howard's leadership, Stroud's growth under new blocking schemes might take off. Might take off. Let's get to what we came for. That Houston Texan record. I've got my black book. I've got my black pen. I'm the black man. About to do it again. Here we go. Now, Houston does not have a majorly difficult schedule. Every team in the NFL is a tough team. But they open up the season in a bad way. They have to go to Los Angeles and play the Rams. Do not sleep on the Rams defense. Do not. Puka Nacua has added another running mate in Devontae Adams. Now, at this point, Cooper Kupp, my opinion, was still solid there. But I do love the hands and feet of Adams. It's will he be able to blend well in that offense, which he should. It's a very good offense. Matthew Stafford is still the quarterback. Blake Corum and oh my gosh, I just had the guy's name in my head. I got his football helmet over there. Kyren Williams at running back. That's tough, Houston. And you're going to the first game with a new offensive line a new scheme and a new new offensive coordinator against this defense, Houston, we have a problem. The Rams beat Houston week 1, so that's an L. Week 2, it does not get any better. It does not get any better. Why? Tampa comes to town. Now, if it was in Tampa Bay, it would be a rout. But it's in Houston, so it's not a rout. But that defense against the offensive line. Here's the theme. The offensive line. Nico Collins can't catch every ball. Joe Mixon, an old boy, can't run. They actually could. 40 times a game. But against Vita Vea and company, you know Todd Bowles is going to send the blitz all day on a new offensive line. All day. It's coming. It is coming. Baker, along with Godwin, as long as he's healthy, along with Mike Evans. I like White at running back. I like the other kid at running back, Cade Otton. I like him at tight end. Remember, Baker threw, we're going to talk about this tomorrow, but Baker threw 41 touchdowns last year. 41. 17 interceptions, but 41 touchdowns. Houston has Stingley and all those other guys. The defense is good, but it's that offense that bothers me. Houston starts the season 0-2. They lose to the Bucs. Week 3, they get some home cooking. It's a division game. It's Jacksonville. Now, Travis Hunter. He's been in the league, 2 games now at this point. Brian Thomas Jr. is being Brian Thomas Jr. Tank and ATN are doing what they got to do. But is that defense ready? Houston, don't get it twisted. Houston has a decent offense. Very good when healthy, but you got to deal with the offensive line change. You got to deal with the offensive coordinator change, right? The philosophy change. I don't know if Houston has what it takes to beat Jacksonville that early in the season at Jacksonville after playing 2 teams that blitz you like nobody's business. Despite that, I believe the Houston Texans beat Jacksonville in week 3. Houston's now 1-2, headed to Tennessee. You know, I have issues with Tennessee. Tennessee's not a bad team, though. Okay? They're not a bad team. I just believe the Texans' defense is going to put it on young Ward. I really think so. And that offense of Tennessee, they've got weapons. Surely they do. But I don't think Ward's going to be good enough, especially going into week 4, to beat Houston's defense. Because he's going to have to beat him. Not Pollard, not I forgot the other guy's name that's running back. I like him, but none of them are going to be able to run against that defense. Ridley, love him, but he disappears in games. Is it his fault or is it the fault of the quarterback? I don't know. I know Ward's going to try to force the ball to him. And Darryl Stingley Jr. is going to have an interception or 2. Houston beats Tennessee easily at home. Some people I know are going to call me all types of dirty names because I don't believe in Cam Ward. I don't. If he was Charlie Ward's son, maybe. Because Charlie Ward was a beast, but Charlie Ward was nothing like this kid coming into any sport. Just me. I got a little bias. Baltimore host Tennessee. I don't need to say much about that because Baltimore is a perennial powerhouse. Houston is not. They're trying to get there. Defense is getting there very quickly. With all the issues with the offense, though, it's going to be tough, right? And I think after week 6, they're going to get their receiver back, especially off the PUP list. You don't want to bring them back for Baltimore and then have a bye week. You're kind of foolish, right? Baltimore gets the win. Houston gets the loss. Right now, Houston going into the bye week are 2-3. Not dead, not out of it, but they need to make a run. And having a bye week in week 6, it's kind of tough because now you got to deal with all the injuries that do come up. But week 7, they go to Seattle. I know last year I was a big Sam Darnold fan. That's because I believe in what, McConnell was teaching him. And he was listening, and it was working. And it was working so well, you didn't even complain that Justin Jefferson didn't get a touchdown for like 6 weeks, unless you had Justin Jefferson in your fantasy. Right? Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, adding my guy from San Francisco. Minnesota's great, right? But this ain't Minnesota, this is Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, and Sam Darnold. I'm going to tell you, it's a Monday night game. It's the end of October. So the weather really isn't a big problem because it doesn't really start raining and getting super cold and nasty up there until like November-ish, mid-November. So this should be a good game that Houston should win. So Houston gets the W. Then on Sunday, the 26th, San Francisco comes to town. Week 8 should be interesting because we'll see what Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, CMC. Hell, if Trent Williams is even on the field. San Fran has a lot of decisions to make monetarily. They did one by letting Deebo Samuels go. I get it, saving money. Deebo is a good receiver, not the receiver, but he's also a multi-tool player. San Fran loses that because they had to pay Brock Purdy. And then they still have a couple other players that have contracts coming up. Bottom line is, I think it's going to be a good game because Houston's head coach comes back to hosts San Francisco, a place that he was a defensive coordinator at, and he also cut his teeth as a assistant. It's a tough game for me to pick because I'm not sure if Houston's going to show up. But I'm going to pick them over San Fran. Something telling me San Fran is going to be good, but just not quite good enough. It'll be quasi good. Dr. Either. So the W goes to Houston, week 8. Week 9, Denver comes to town. So it's 3 home games straight. It's San Fran, Denver, and Jacksonville. Now, I like what's going on in Denver. That defense is stout. Stout. Excuse me, guys. Denver's defense is stout. If Bo Nix and company can build off of what they did last year, Denver might make some noise in the AFC West. Literally, they have a good shot as long as Bo Nix and company can continue to build off of what they did last year. I think Houston is better than Denver, but I like Denver's defense way better than I like Houston's defense. Okay, this is a toss-up game to me, but I'm going to give Houston the W versus Denver. I'm probably going to be wrong on that one. Don't hold me to it, but I'm going to give them the W, okay? Then they got Jacksonville, right? Jacksonville, which they've already beat. Now Jacksonville comes to Houston. I think by week 10, Jacksonville's got their head on straight. I think they're moving and grooving, trying to, hey, this worked, that worked. Duval, like the new coach did. Dude, they'll never do that again. They'll never do that again. So I'm going to have Jacksonville beat Houston in week 10. So Houston gets the L. I think by that time, Jacksonville's got their stuff together. Week 11 at Tennessee. Only reason why I'm picking Tennessee in this game is because it's at Tennessee. I don't believe Cam Ward's going to do well this year. However, I don't think Houston is that good of a team with the changes that they can sweep Tennessee. Right? I don't think they can. So back-to-back L's. Coming home. Buffalo. Look, man, I was wrong about Buffalo the past couple of years. I hope I'm not wrong this time. I think Buffalo's going to be a dominant team that's going to fall short this year. But not in this game. I think week 12, Buffalo comes to Houston and puts on a clinic. I think Stroud and company, they'll be good in the system, but they won't be that good in the system. I think Buffalo wins. That's 3 straight L's for Houston. Because now, week 13, they go to Indianapolis. Indianapolis is not ready, even with Daniel Jones. They're better with Daniel Jones at quarterback than they are with Richardson, but I don't know if anybody's going to be hurt. I don't know if they're going to be playing, hot potato at the quarterback position. I just don't know. That leads me to have less confidence in Indianapolis than I would in Houston, even though it's at Indianapolis. I got to give Houston the W, only because I don't know what's going on with Indy. I love Jonathan Taylor. I love, Pittman. I like that QB situation. Drafted a nice tight end. Danny Jones, get it together, buddy. Then Houston goes to Kansas City. The place where old boy had his knee pop out of socket. Now, Houston plays him kind of tough and kind of tight. But I think Pat is on a mission. Pat is on that mission. Hey, man, we made it all the way to the Super Bowl like we're supposed to, but we failed. We failed. And I think they want to beat the brakes off of a revamping Houston Texans. So that's another L. Week 15, Arizona goes to Houston. Until Arizona gets a number 2 wide receiver to go, a legit number 2 wide receiver to go opposite of Marvin Harrison Jr. I love McBride, but he's a tight end, not a receiver. He's a receiving tight end, but not a receiver. I'm gonna go with Houston because I think their defense is better. Though the Cardinals have added some good pieces, still got to pick Houston. Okay. Week 16, Vegas. 17, Chargers. 18, Indy. I'll be very brief about this. Look, I think they win 2 of the 3. They beat the Raiders. They lose to the Chargers. And then they win versus the Colts. That's what I have. And with that being the case, I have your Houston Texans at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. Ooh. Let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. 9 and 8? It's a winning record, but 9 and 8? I might have Jacksonville winning the division. Let's find out. I didn't realize that's where I was going with it. I didn't. But now I know. Let's go to Duval. Right? Their schedule. I did not know that Shad Khan and the Khan family have over like $9 billion in positive sports franchises. I gotta get some water. Oh my gosh. Went to the gym yesterday and my arms, I did back, I did tries, bis, and back. My bis are killing me. Just killing me. Whew. So, let's get back to it. Jacksonville. What do I have to say about Jacksonville, guys? I've got a lot to say about Jacksonville. New GM, James Gladstone, and head coach Liam Cohen lead the reset of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe this is the 4th or 5th coach Shad Khan has had, but he's had patience. He's had patience, right? Star rookies Jerrion Jones, cornerback Dennis Gardick, edge rusher, Bashal Tootin, running back, and Travis Hunter, wide receiver cornerback, are the key additions. The biggest one out of all of those, Travis Hunter. Concerns going to minicamp, depth at the defensive back position. Coaching inexperience adds pressure. Darby released. Hunter expected to fill multiple roles. Look, I said it when we were going over Houston. Jacksonville has a good offense, but we don't know what that defense is going to do. You got Jarrett Allen on the end, rushing, but they really don't have a stellar middle linebacker or a backer that's going to lead that defense and the pressure from the middle. They just don't have it. The secondary is shaky. If you put Travis Hunter out there, then you risk, not having the best Travis Hunter when he's on offense. Just saying. Right? Position battles, Travis Hunter versus Jones vying for DB and hybrid roles. Etienne leads the running backs, but backup depth is in question. Hence the reason why they drafted the other running back. But Travis, Tank, and Tootin are rootin' tootin' good time in that backfield. That takes a lot of stress off for Sunshine. A lot of it. Does he have the freedom to audible out? I don't know. But I will say this, that offensive coordinator from Tampa Bay is now the head coach in Jacksonville. And last year, he made sure Baker Mayfield threw at least 41 touchdowns. Yeah, you got Mike Evans. That helps a lot. Yeah, you had Chris Godwin for a hot minute. Yeah, you got one hell of a defense in Tampa. But Jacksonville has a little bit more weapons on the offensive side of the board, but they're not better, but they can get home. The only real concern I have for Jacksonville is the defense, right? Dual role impact to Travis Hunter, rookies energizing special teams and wide receiver core. The schedule is kind to Jacksonville. It really is. And because it's kind of Jacksonville, it's like, well, maybe, just maybe, Jacksonville can do this. I think they do, actually. Let's get started. Week 1, Carolina comes to town. If you didn't know, these two teams joined the NFL at the exact same time. They were probably the two best expansion teams in NFL history, based on the fact that both made it to the NFC and AFC championship game in their inaugural seasons. Pretty damn good. But that's then, this is now. I don't think Carolina's offense should scare Jacksonville's defense, but Carolina's defense is pretty good too. I think with Brian Thomas Jr., with Travis Hunter, Etienne, Tank, and the rest, I think Jacksonville just has too much for Carolina, and Jacksonville wins. Week 2 at the Bengals. I told you. Let me see if I get the Bengals. Because y'all know, I don't think the Bengals are going to do well this year. I really don't. I really freaking don't. And I don't want to give them a loss. Okay. I gave Cincinnati an L in week 2 versus Jacksonville. So guess what? Jacksonville gets the W. Starting out 2-0. They've got Houston, week 3. I've given them the L. Week 4, San Francisco. I'm also giving them the L only because I think San Fran, for all of its issues they have, they're still a better overall team. Okay? Week 5 versus Kansas City, Monday night. Only reason why Jacksonville got this Monday night game is because of Travis Hunter. Can't convince me any different. Won't do it. Kansas City all day. It's another L. Right? Seattle follows up with them. They beat Seattle. Okay, that's a W. The Rams, week 7. Now, this is an interesting matchup because I love the young guns on the defense side of the ball of the Rams. Also like offensive weaponry the Rams have. I think the offensive weapons the Rams and the Jacksonville Jaguars have are pretty equal, with the slight edge going to the Rams. Okay? 2 top receivers, 1 team. Yeah. But Jacksonville, is something about him. It's in London. Jacksonville's loved in London. They're going to be the home team. Don't get twisted. They're going to be the home team. So I'm going to give them the W. All right. Water break. Back, buys, and tries. Woo! I'm paying for it today, y'all. Early am. Week 8, they come back from London to a bye. Week 9, they go to Allegiant Stadium and they face the Raiders. Now, the Raiders aren't going to be all that bad. It's just Pete's going to have to show me. He's going to have to show me how he's going to, run that offense in the passing game. I might be wrong, but I think they beat the Raiders. Then they go to Houston. Houston, you have a problem. You lose to Jacksonville. Jacksonville has won 4 games in a row. 4 games in a row at this point. They're feeling themselves, right? Duval. Cohen, don't do it again. Don't do it again. Then they go to a buzzsaw, week 11 versus the Chargers. Not even gonna play no games. It's an L, right? I honestly don't see a lot of hard games here, because then they go to Houston. I'll be at this game most likely. Excuse me. Yeah, did I give them? I said Houston. They go to Arizona. I apologize. They go to Arizona. I'll be at this game. And just maybe, the Cardinals show up or they don't. I know Jacksonville is going to show. And I think Travis Hunter is going to try to lock down Marvin Harrison Jr. The question is, can they stop Trey McBride or Connors? I don't know. I'm going to give an L to the Cardinals. Then they go to Tennessee, week 13. I do not like Tennessee. Personal reasons. They beat Tennessee. First game of the season faces Tennessee, week 13. In fact, this is why I believe Houston has a great shot. I mean, not Houston. Jacksonville has a great shot at winning this division, is because they've only played 3 of their division games in the first 13 weeks of the season. So they can conceivably come back at the end of the season and win their division just by beating their divisional opponents. Right now, they have more wins than Houston on my scorecard. I haven't tallied it up. I think because now they go to Indianapolis, or Indianapolis comes to them, and week 14 is probably a heavy dose of Jonathan Taylor. If it's Richardson, if it's Daniel, that's why I give to Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville has already found their identity by this point. The defense has probably stepped up. They went on a tear and won 4 straight games. And, it's tough to maintain that with a younger team. But Trevor Lawrence isn't a bum. It's not as good as everybody thinks he is, but he's not a bum. And those weapons are not going to let them flounder. Guarantee that. Week 15, it's Benny and the Jets. I think, let me make sure before I say this. I think I gave the Jets the victory here. Reasons in the Jets. G-Unit. Was this week 15? That's 18. 17, 16, 15. I gave it to the Jets, so that means there's an L. Week 16, Denver, they go on the road. Denver and Indianapolis, right? I think Denver gets their revenge, wins week 16. I'm trying to figure out what I did here. We're going to give that an L because I don't know what the hell I was doing there. All right. Indy. It's kind of hard to beat a team back to back in the same season, right? I mean, not back to back, but twice in a season. But it's indoors. You're not worried about the weather. No matter who the quarterback is, Jacksonville's defense will try to smother whatever offense they have. I'm gonna give the split. So I gave them the L the first time versus the Colts. They get the W. Week 17. Week 18, they finish the season with Tennessee. Believe it or not, I actually like Tennessee in this game only because it's on the road, not at home in the elements. But then I say, nah, Cam Ward still's a bust. I got to give it to Jacksonville. With that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, 9 and 8 again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. 9 and 8. And if I think Jacksonville is going to win the division at 9 and 8, Houston really might have a shot. Because I don't think the Colts do, honestly, and I don't think Tennessee does. But that's how bad I think the South is. 9 and 8 wins it. It's not the first time that has happened in the past, 3 or 4 years in the AFC South. It's not. So that's why I said Jacksonville has a good shot, especially playing their division games toward the end of the season. Right? They count the most. You win your division, it doesn't matter what your record is. If you win the division, you're in the playoffs. Don't I know that with some bum that did that in my league? But it is what it is. All right. That was Jacksonville. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I'm saving Houston for last because I really want to talk about Cam Ward. But yeah, I'm a little biased. I got a little haterade in me. I do. But I can admit it. Regular season. These daggone Indianapolis Colts. It's tough out here, right? It's even tougher for them because the GM Chris Ballard as the key talent of tight end Tyler Warren. He pluses up the depth at cornerback and edge. The problem is you also added another quarterback to compete with your first round pick of a couple years ago. A player that actually can beat him out. That doesn't bode well for Richardson. It doesn't. Not in my opinion. So I was going to minicamp. Anthony Richardson's consistency and development after injury. The offensive cohesion under new system. So you got a head coach, offensive-minded coach, but is running a system that's a little different than what they're accustomed to. Daniel Jones might be able to do it. Honestly, I'm not saying that Richardson can't pick it up. I'm just saying executing the plays better. I think Daniel Jones has that hands down. Now, Jones could have stayed in Minnesota, but he wanted a real shot at starting. And Richardson has a history of being injured within the first couple of weeks of a game. Of the season. He's not going to get over that. No one's ever going to let that go. Tapped his head, said, "Hey, coach, I need a blow." You're the freaking quarterback. You can have a blow right there on that bench next game. Win or lose. So with that being said, I got to tell you, I like the addition of tight end Warren, who they expect to start. I think he's the best or one of the best tight ends to come out in the draft. Justin Wally, who's competing. Edge battle between JT Tiamalua and Lalia Tua Latua, bro. I'm sorry if I butchered your names. I know I butchered your names. I'm sorry that I did it. That hurt. It hurt to say. All right, trending topics. The run-pass game balance between Richardson and Taylor. And that's what makes this, so intriguing. That with Richardson, you know that the read option is a legit threat. With Daniel Jones, it's a threat, but not a consistent threat, right? Not consistent. Also, they're dealing with the passing of the owner. And the owner, Jim Irsay, left the team to his daughters. So they might run the organization a little differently, right? They were under dad. They learned from dad. They were at the games with dad. But now dad, sadly, has passed away. Jim Irsay, please rest in peace. How then do you expect the Indianapolis Colts to perform? I expect them to be what they were last year. Not that good. Chris Ballard's job is definitely on the line under new management. Shane Steichen, the head coach, jobs under scrutiny. New management. It's the same people that were in the building, but now it's 3 decision-making heads as opposed to 1. Put my hands up, don't shoot. I'm just the messenger. With that being said, let's go into this schedule. Miami, week 1. Okay. Miami has a lot of problems, guys. In my opinion. I'm trying to see where I had Miami's picks at. Because I don't even remember if I had them win or losing this game. Dolphins opened up the season winning the game versus Colts. So with that, Colts start with an L. They go to Denver, or Denver comes to them. Another L. Go to Tennessee. Unfortunately, it's an L. Then they go to the Rams. L. Raiders come to town. L. 1, 2, 3, 5 straight L's to start the season. I think this is why Richardson should not start. And if he does start, this is going to be the outcome. Just me. Terrible accuracy. He's a big threat in the run game, yes. It's a quarterback. If you wanted to run the ball, play running back for this team, but you can't because Jonathan Taylor is that guy. He's you can't even call him a system quarterback because he does not perform well. I'm sorry, Colts, go with Daniel Jones if you know what's good for you. Because in week 6, you got Arizona coming to town. Close game. Close. But I give Arizona the W and the Colts the L. Chargers, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, next 3. Atlanta, next 4. L. Can't make this stuff up, guys. Can't make this stuff up. You might say, Vic, why are you so harsh on him? I didn't make the schedule. That's not me. They finally get a bye week 11, but wouldn't you know it? Week 12 when they come back, You got Kansas City. Now, coach is gone. Ain't won one game. Coach is gone. Week 12 and you're 0-12. That's easy to be like 1-11, but or 1-10 because you had the bye week. But I think you fire him in the bye week. That's just me. Because then you got Houston after Kansas City. Houston, I have. What week is this? Week 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a loss to Houston, which means it's a win. First win for the Colts. Week 13. That is Week 14. They got to go to Jacksonville, right? Colts aren't that good, man. They take another L. Seattle, San Francisco. It's just not. You know what? I'm going to give them a W at San Francisco. I'm going to give them a W at San Francisco. I am. Because at Jacksonville, Tampa Bay to finish the season, these guys are trying to find ways to stay in the playoff hunt or close out that playoff run. Both are 9-7 at this point. But in week 18, they both end up 9-8. Man, I am tougher than a cookie. Tennessee beats them. I literally have, and this is sad, I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. 2-15 for the Colts. Oh my God. That is terrible. 2-15? Oh my God. They suck. Or they will. At least that's what I think. That's what I think. All right. Time to talk about these bum Houston Texans. Tennessee Titans. Look, my angst with the Titans dwell heavily in the pick that they had at quarterback. Shador could have been number one, was number one, didn't get to the fifth round. That's neither here nor there. But Cam Ward was not the best quarterback in that entire draft. Cam Ward wasn't even the best player in that draft. I'm closing the black pen, the black book, because I got some stuff to say. You let your GM go after 2 years because he was intimidating. You let Vrabel go when you first, not first came on board, but when the GM came on board because he was too intimidating. You bring in Callahan. Will Levis gets 2 years. Reports are Will Levis he's giving Cam Ward a run for his money at the starting job. That should not be the case when you pick Cam Ward number one overall and Will Levis is considered a bust. Houston, Tennessee, whoever you are, you got a problem. The players are not that good on the team. And when you put a talent like Ward, because he is a talent, you make it so that he can succeed. They have not done so. They have not done so. And we're going to find out. We're definitely going to find out, because let me give you a little synopsis about what's going on, right? Tennessee. Let me go to my Titans. Here we go. Top pick Cam Ward replaces Will Levis or does he? Offensive overhaul with new O-line and rookie weapons. Coach Brian Callahan oversees transition. That's great. That's great. But when your head coach goes out in the press conference and says, you know, you're talking too damn much while I'm trying to give you a play, even though apparently you can hear it quite well and you can multitask like that in that situation. Dude, this is one of those times where shut up and dribble or shut up and play ball comes to play. Stop dogging out your teammates in practice. Yes, they do something wrong. Get them. But you're the rookie. You have to earn their trust as well as them earning your trust as receivers. Everybody else, they from the show me state. Offensive line can make or break you. Show me. Running game can make or break you. Show me. That defense, if they're on the field too long, which I think they will be, you will not be able to beat a lot of these teams in the NFL. You won't. But concerns are completing shift in coaching and QB leads to uncertainty. Ranked lowest in the AFC South power, the lowest in the entire power rankings of the South. Tennessee, what you gonna do? O-line position battles and receiver spots. Look, man. Cam Ward is going to throw to who he's supposed to most times. He's also going to try to use that exceptional arm strength when he shouldn't. Adjustments needed in wide receiver core and QB rhythm. That's a concern. It's a battle. But here's the thing. If that's a concern, don't you think you might want to run the ball a lot more to make him a game manager at first and not somebody who's going to drive down the field all the time and win the game? Put the ball in the hands of the defense and let them win the games. You do just enough to win a game. So the trending topics right now for the Tennessee Titans are Cam Ward's leadership and early growth, O-line chemistry under pressure. So the duress that Cam Ward is about to experience is nothing like he's ever experienced before. Shador, again, making the comparison because of what happened, he had a pretty bad offensive line. First year of his career at not at Jackson State, at what college? Colorado. Had a little bit of issues in the MAC offensive line, but not too big. But here, they got him here. He can handle that. Cam Ward cannot. His mindset is not there to do it. But I digress. Let's go to these picks. All right. Tennessee, where you at? Here we go. Week 1 at Denver. That's an L. I dropped my pen. Top. Week 2, Rams come to town. That's an L. Week 3, Colts are in town. That's a W. Week 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Week 4, Houston host the Colts. It's an L. The Cardinals come on out to Cleveland land. Arizona land. And the Cardinals are going to be super bad. It's not going to be that good. And I got an L for the Titans. They go to Vegas. This is a homer pick only because I do not want nothing. I'm going to leave it alone. The Raiders win. They beat Tennessee. That's an L. Week 7, that high-powered New England run game and possible offense comes to town. And I think the Patriots win. Colts. I think they beat the Colts the second time. They split with them. Rams. They beat the Rams. Then they have a bye week 10. Week 11, come back to Houston. I'm coming back to Houston. No halves on the craps. I got it. It's an L. Seattle. In disarray. Houston beats Seattle. Tennessee beats Seattle. Week 13. Duval. But it's in Tennessee. Sloppy field. It's 11th of December. I'm going to give it to the Titans. They'll split, though. Then they go to Cleveland. Cleveland gets a W. Week 15, San Fran. It don't get no better. Week 15 and 16, San Fran and Kansas City. 2 straight L's. They end with the L in New Orleans. A W in New Orleans and an L in Jacksonville. Man. Tennessee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 11. Not gonna do it. It's not worth it. It's not gonna happen. I'm telling you guys, Cam Ward, I like him, but I don't like him. And it's gonna show in that schedule why I don't like him. It's not a murderer's row, but there are some games I see they're gonna get blown out in. Plain and simple. Colts, I think, will be the worst team, 2 and freaking 15. Vying for a top spot again. Ballard might be gone because the ladies aren't going to put up with him. All right. That's going to wrap up the Dirty NFC South. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the AFC South. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the NFC South. The plan is to touch upon these Atlanta Falcons, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers, and those bum-ass New Orleans Saints. I might even give them a win. I don't know yet. Anyway, with that being the case, let's get ready to transition to another topic, still in the NFL. But what I'm going to do right now is take a quick 1-minute break. When I return, we're going to talk about the NFLPA. What's going on with this dude, man? Why is he effing up? Stay with me, it's your boy, Mr. FSP. I'll be right back.
Chapter 1. Maya, Daughter of the Divide. The city of Cindertown was carved in lines that weren't drawn by architects or city planners, but etched by power, privilege, and pain. On one side, high-rises, fiber optic veins, and champagne brunches. On the other, 7 blocks. Maya had learned to live between those lines, and often within the shadows they cast. Her father, Detective William Miller, existed in the structured gray of precincts and protocols. A white man born into duty and defined by routine. Miller buried his grief in caseloads and clipped orders. Since the death of his wife, his presence at home had become as fleeting as a shadow at dusk. He told himself,
"The best advice anyone ever gave me was 2 words. You can't. And you know what my response was? 2 words. Watch me."
All right, I'm back, guys. I'm back. Had to do a couple promos for my books. Yeah, I do for my books. Out right now is Game of Life, Trauma and Drama. Find on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, books.buy / Mr. FSP. Or I can send you one. Just let me know. For a fee, of course. Then I've got my first attempt at fiction, Cypher Ghost. That was me reading the first chapter of that book. Interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. Okay. All right. We're going to learn today. And what we're going to learn today is about this guy who's NFLPA, Lloyd Howe Jr., right? Supposedly he stepped down from that position a couple of days ago, July 17th. Says, "My leadership has become a distraction to the important work of the NFLPA advances every day." So he quit. His exit followed by intense scrutiny to multiple issues. Allegedly, he was going to the strip club, y'all, and claiming it as, stuff for the NFL. How billed the NFLPA for 2 strip club visits, a $738 airport car ride in Miami, and $2,500 during the NFLPA summit under the guise of player engagement events. Now, look, I know some players be going to Magic City. I know some players be going to all these different strip clubs. If you're telling me you held a meeting at a strip club in Miami, bro, how stupid can you be? Not only that, conflict of interest with the Carlisle Group. Carlisle Group is one of the groups that's trying to buy a team in the NFL or a share of the team. He held a paid consultancy role with the Carlisle Group, a private equity firm potentially investing in NFL teams, raising questions about divided loyalties. How can you run for the NFL? I mean, how can you be the NFLPA chief executive, which is for the players, National Football League Player Association, and be a consultant for a group that's trying to purchase or get a stake in a team? How? Also, concealing arbitration details. How kept parts of an arbitrator's ruling on collusion and guaranteed salaries confidential from players, citing confidentiality. So I'm gonna cite where I got this information from. The strip club stuff, the Washington Post. The concealed arbitration deal, Steelers Depot, Reuters. If you know anything about media or news, Reuters is impeccable. Don't even. How can you do this to the players that you're sworn to lead in the executive part of football? Past lawsuit not disclosed. In 2011, he was sued for sexual discrimination and retaliation while at Booz Allen, reportedly not disclosed during NFLPA hiring. That came from Yahoo Sports. You tell me what's that. Now, Pat McAfee slammed the union. He says Pat McAfee criticized NFLPA leadership on X, calling them career politicians misusing players' money, and demanded more authentic business savvy leadership. I get it. Yeah. Yeah. This dude done messed up the church's money. And players want to know why things are going on. They can literally sue this guy. I'd want something done to him for concealing arbitration details on rulings on collusion and guaranteed salaries that the owners were doing, that everybody said was a rumor. It's false, but it was happening. Some players were shocked. Executive committee support just prior to his resignation. NFLPA's executive committee publicly backed Howe, stating he had not been rushed into a decision and was initially supported by them until he quit. Leadership and transparency and trust are key in this role, right? Especially when you're dealing with over 700 and some change players, that this is their livelihood. The 700 plus corporations that you are charged to take care of while they perform their duties. The misuse of the player dues. Hey, dude, you took the money to a strip club? Now, Miami, I feel you, but still, come on, guy. $3,200, $3,300 might not be much, but that wasn't what they paid their dues for. Did you take them to the strip club too? Misuse of player funds, man. Ethical leadership. How should the union executives be held accountable for personal and financial conduct? How? How should this guy be dealt with? Should the NFL players sue him? Did the NFL, apparently, that group knew, that group that's trying to buy part of the NFL team knew, what punishment should they fall under? They're not going to punish themselves. Conflict of management, transparency, and union grievances. Oh my goodness. What level of vetting and disclosure do players deserve when their own leadership is working for the other team? Literally working for the other team. This guy is a piece of work, man. This guy's a piece of work. And I can't tell you, how difficult it is, because I briefly worked at like UPS, right? Like for a couple days. This wasn't my thing. Just wasn't my thing. Being honest, right? A union is designed to protect. from the big bag executives. But if you are in bed and in cahoots with those executives, what are the players to do? While you're in there working out the deals, and each team is supposed to send a representative to work with this executive. And if this executive is telling them XYZ, and they're like, okay, well, I get it. They're in some of the meetings, but not all the meetings, especially these backdoor meetings. Terrible. Terrible. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if the NFL needs to punish itself because that Carlisle group knew that the NFLPA executive was in charge of them while also working with them to purchase a portion of a team. Let me know what you think should happen to Mr. Howe. Should the players sue him? Now, I know some of the players going to do or want to do more than sue him because he was playing with their money and he withheld critical information about grievances and collusion. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments. Tell me how you feel. And let's talk about it because labor union laws just don't happen in, sports. It's all around the world. And if you think it's on this situation is happening in the NFL, it could be happening in the NBA, hockey, baseball, your job. Think about it. There's a reason why a lot of people want to have a union buster. They want to blow it up so that the corporations can do whatever it is they want to do so they can make all the money they want and then feed you crumbs until you're happy. Not going to go down that road too deeply, but that's what that was. All right. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Leave them in the comments. Let's talk about it. Okay. With that being said, it is time for me to do this live draft pick situation. Now, I'm going to share my screen once I have it all set up. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. 2025 Neighborhood Street Football League. We're going to put them in by names, and then we're going to randomize them to see who gets the first through 12th pick. Start off with Tony's Wolverines. Right? Then we're going to go senior moment. We know who that is, but he has a lot of senior moments. Then we're going to throw in there, you got to relax. Right? Then we're going to go with everyone's daddy, which is me. Y'all all my children as the world turns. Everyone's daddy. Then we're going to go Van's fantasy team. Right? Then Washington Comrades. Crazy. We'll go with Ultimate Madness. Darth Raider. Lil Haas's Hustlers. The Bowers That Be. That's a good one. That's a good one, Memo, because he loves Brock Bowers. The Bowers That Be. Oh boy. Louisiana Coon Asses. Put L Coon Asses. And finally, Laces Out. Let's make sure I have 12 teams listed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. I'm going to switch now to share my screen. All right. Here we go. You guys can see what I have. All the names. All right. And anything, any dice roll above 5 is what we're going to use to make this determination. If the dice roll comes up less than 5, we re-shake the dice. Okay. 2 dice. Dice roll is a 9. Dice roll is a 9. So we're going with it. If it were a 1, begin giveaway. Ultimate Madness would be number 1, but it isn't. If it were number 2, the Bowers That Be would be number 1. If it were 3, I would be the first pick, which I deserve. If it were 4, Little Haas's Hustlers. If it were 5, the Comrades. If it were 6, the Bowers That Be. When this happens, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you something. When this happens on this, he's gonna come up again. He's probably gonna get the number 1 pick. Probably. We'll see. We'll see. Number 7, Coon Asses. Number 8, Watson Commandos. This is the last roll to decide the draft order of the 2025 neighborhood street football order. And the number 1 pick in this year's draft goes to Darth Raider. And Coon Asses gets a number 2. Coon Asses had the number 1 pick 2 years in a row. Now he has a number 3 pick. Okay. Here we go. I'm a little mad, but I'll be okay. With that being said, Darth Raider has the number 1 pick. Coon Asses has the number 2. The Bowers That Be, number 3. Vans Fantasy Team, number 4. Ultimate Madness, number 5. Senior Moments, number 6. The Comrades, number 7. Tony's Wolverines, 8. Little Haas's Hustlers, 9. I sit at number 10, which I don't want to be, but it's okay. You Gotta Relax is 11, and Laces Out is 12. That will be the current. I said current. That will be the current draft order for this upcoming fantasy football season. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that this is subject to change because we do draft pick trading. And trust me, I want to trade my position. Seriously, I do. But we'll see. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Again, if you got a comment about what's going on, in the NFL or anywhere, please jump on. I plan to start talking about the Canelo Alvarez versus Bud Crawford matchup in detail towards the middle of August. I'm trying to procure actual boxers who have been professional fighters to come on the show to discuss it, because all these TikTok folks want to tell me that Crawford ain't got a shot, da 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 da. But I want to hear it from professional fighters, people that have actually fought in the ring on a high level, not amateur or not just amateur, but I'm looking for professional boxers to come have a real conversation with me about it. Maybe I'm wrong about how I feel Bud Crawford will win this fight. Maybe they'll share some insight as to why it's a more even match than people think, or why Canelo is going to beat him. I want to see what happens. But I thank you all for tuning in. I thank you all for supporting me, because I'm supportable. All right, y'all. With that being said, I appreciate you. And we got to get ready to get out of here. I'm going to do it like this.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember,
face.
because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The other dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?